There's no denying the magnetism of mountains. Views of their summits and ridges have the power to stop us in our tracks, allowing our minds to wander along their aspects. Humans have a long history of exploring the peaks and valleys of our planet, and occasionally we do so on bicycles. One of the best marriages of mountains and bikes is, as you might imagine, in Colorado, along a stretch of land where dusty, high desert peaks eventually give way to some of the state's most jaw-dropping alpine. Welcome to the Gunnison Valley. The Gunnison Valley is effectively bookended by two communities, Gunnison and Crested Butte, and each community is home to their own respective dedicated contingent of mountain bike stewards and advocates, Gunnison Trails and the Crested Butte Mountain Bike Association. Of course, each community has their own flavor, but the riding here tastes best when combined.
I think everybody up here they're here for the place first, and then you figure it out, how to live here. My name's Douglas Bradbury. I did do a whole bunch in the bike industry. I started Manitou mountain bikes, Manitou suspension, did all that. And then also did a whole nother brand with John Tomac, race teams with John, building all those bikes, designing and building them.
My name is Lisa Crampton, and I own a retail fuzz store here in Crested Butte, but I also work part-time for Pivot Cycles.
My name is Gary Pierson. I'm the Dean of Students, also known as the Dean of Stoke at Western Colorado University.
Everybody's here for the same reason. It's like they're all here because the place is great. It's just a natural playground. And, that's why you see so many retired pros up here. It's like, everybody up here is, kick your ass. And, so it's, you look at all the local races up here, they're all, pro-class people racing in them. And it's because it's just a beautiful playground. It's staggering, and I can't tell you how long I've been here, and I hardly ever go downtown. It's just, I just don't, yeah, you do, you know how to do it, you know how to deal with the tourism and this and that, but it's what's all around us that's why everybody's here.
I started my career in higher ed in Illinois and Kansas and Oregon, and made it back to Colorado in '96, and then was able to come to Gunnison in '98. And growing up in Colorado, I'd never been to Gunnison. And I came for my job interview, and I knew right away this was a place I wanted to be. And I had just started mountain biking in 1996.
It's all about the people, and I think both Gary and Doug said the same thing. It's about the people, and yes, it's obviously beautiful here, and the riding's incredible, but it's the people, and being able to rely on the community, whether you get sick, whether you're building a new trail, all of it is just a small part of why we all choose to live here. But the outdoor recreation here is like no place else as well.
I came to the valley, but it was just the feeling that I had coming into Gunnison, and then I drove up a valley up to Crested Butte, and we camped for a night up by Lake Irwin. And it just, you know, it sounds kind of mystical, but it just spoke to me. You know, I just was like, wow, this is a place that I really want to be at.
I think those of us that have been around for a while understand that mystique. I don't necessarily know if the new gen feels those roots like we do, because they weren't really here for it. And I've thought a lot about this lately, because I even had no clue what I was a part of until I left in 2010 and had to sit down and write a resume around mountain biking. And looking back and remembering, like, what was it, 93 when Worlds were in Vail, and all those guys were here. And we got to show our world to guys and gals from all over the world.
And then when I came up here, especially full time, in the late 90s, you know, I just instantly fell in with the bike club. And that just continued to work. So the bike club was just local volunteers. That's all it was. And it was working with the Forest Service, you know, it was working with the land managers around here, the Land Trust, you know, trying to get stuff going, trying to get trails opened up, you know, a lot of illegal trails, trying to make them legal, taking old existing trails and getting them, up to snuff to be able to ride, you know, clearing trails. And to me, it was just fun. And for the majority of people here, it was, yeah, you know that you're sort of doing good, but it's also, you're really doing it for yourself, so you have somewhere to ride.
going back to what you originally asked, I think it's the people that really define this place. You know, the passion, really the true joy of getting to live here. That's a common bond that I think we all share. And then I think, you know, we all truly care about each other, but we care about this place. And, you know, there's the sustainability piece that we want to make sure we're building trails that are sustainable and we're taking care of them. And that's what I'm really proud of with some of the work that Gunnison Trails and really Simba's done is these are hand-built trails and they're just exceptionally well done. And the riding's incredible. So I think it's the people and the quality of the trail systems that really define this place. It's, you know, I know there's lots of great riding, albeit I haven't been to many parts of the country, but I really don't want to go anywhere else. I mean, I have plenty to keep me occupied here, and it's right out my back door.
We still have big work days where we build a new trail and, you know, get, you know, massive volunteers come out, and then we actually then have paid crews that go out and finish stuff up and, you know, doing camping initiatives and, you know, just cleaning up the backcountry, you know, basically. But when I was doing it, it was just, you know, totally volunteer, and just everybody was volunteer at that point. But that was also, I have to say, probably, you know, the most fun time, you know, of the whole thing, because, you know, you're just more involved. And also, I really enjoyed designing trails. You know, to me, that's, you know, even if it's a 10-foot section, you know, where you're doing something with a, you know, water check, you know, and you've got, you know, but you've got a potential to do something, you know, different. It's just really fun to do. And, you know, it's like I really enjoyed designing bikes, you know, and designing suspension, and, you know, the design part's really fun. But for me, it's like designing like gun sight connector. You know, I was able to do all the layout on that, and a lot of the layout, majority of the layout up on Baxter Gulch. You know, that was, to me, that's just really fun to design a trail. You know, so you know, it's just something that just really just hit all the spots for me. It's just nothing like it.
We had 370 some people show up to work on to rebuild the lower loop, to bring the lower loop back, including Ned Overend came over from Durango, because that's where Specialized had their first production mountain bike ad shot out there. So they wanted to show up and be a part of bringing that trail back. Who else can say that? What other communities can say that? We are invested in our trail system, and we all believe that that is, I believe, and all my fellow Butians believe, that we have to give back like that. And it's just part of being here. It's part of being a part of the fabric of this community. It
gives me a lot of pride to share this place with other people. And just, I think they see my genuine passion for this place. And, you know, just getting to live here and recreate here is an incredible gift. And that's something that I hope I never take for granted.
Be still, my darling. All is well, my darling. Your anxious heart may so. Oh, it weighs you down deeper than you know. Yeah, it weighs you down deeper than you know. Oh, darling, don't be scared. Time changing us both. That will need our bodies, but it'll never touch my soul. If you are afraid, the heavens don't let go. 'Cause darling, I will stay as we grow. Oh.
depth to the history here that really separates this place from so many others, and the continued efforts from groups like Simba and Gunnison Trails are what keeps the history going. Of course, there are more than enough examples around the planet showing that mountains aren't really needed for top-notch mountain bike trails, but the peaks that surround the Gunnison Valley possess an undeniable magnetism, and if the high altitude doesn't take your breath away, the trails here surely will.